that, people. I think let's start off with Kroenke or Arsene Wenger. Let's start with Arsene Wenger. Let's zoom out a bit of this. Start with Arsene Wenger. Because there was a lot of comments with Wenger. First he's got a comment, you're going to see. Let's start with Wenger, people. Let me share my screen. Hit the like button if you have not done such already, people. It'd be a shame. 111 likes. Unexpected high bills due for those of you who do not hit that like button. There's a couple of you who haven't. But yeah, man, obviously looking at Wenger, he's had, look at the great man. Look at the great man. I'm not talking about this Chris Godfrey, brother. I'm talking about Granddad, the father. When I'm in adversity, I can concentrate on what is important and what is less important, as we all should and could. Scrolling all the way down, let's see what Wenger has had to say. I think this is his whole interview. Competition is something that eats slowly at your life, and it makes of you a little monster. He went on to say, that's what I've become. Yes, I spent my whole life in the top level competition, and it makes you slowly someone who is psychologically obsessed and one-dimensional, someone who kicks out everything on the road that is not winning the next game. There are other important things in life, for example, that I didn't explore at all. And that's something I think harmed Wenger. You look at Sir Alex Ferguson, he had horses and whatnot. Not that Wenger doesn't have any interest. He says, when I asked what's so scary about this single-mindedness, maybe only genius can be successful in many multiple territorial things. I was not a genius. I had to dedicate my whole energy to one thing, which is true. And then he went on to say, scrolling all the way down, when asked about, Sir Alex Ferguson gave Wenger his dues, and actually Sir Alex Ferguson has come out today, and news has come out today, and he's criticised people that called my man a dinosaur. The achievement stands alone; it stands above everything else. As you know, we still hold the unbeaten record, and it was lovely for Liverpool to lose. He said, if you don't set high targets, you don't push people to go as far as they could be. Obviously, there was Wenger, who he said a mass of negativity because he was a foreign manager and he was doing things that are different. Ian Wrights claimed. Again, this article is poorly structured. I had enough maturity to deal with it. I think one quality maybe, when I'm in adversity, I concentrate on what is important and what is less important. At that stage, I felt surprised, but I felt, let's do what I think I can do, which is to manage a football team. So I was not destabilized. Scrolling all the way down, he always said, I felt always that the most important thing is that you get a good diagnosis of what's going on. The hairdryer method, screaming at your players, is more to get your frustrations out, and it's not very efficient. If you do that every week, people adapt to the behavior of their manager. I thought it's more important to be kind, master the situation, and give an indication of what you should do. I thought, what is the most effective, not what is the most spectacular. I have a very passionate character. When I lose it in a dangerous way. Same. I learned to control myself, because you can make mistakes when you're out of control that you cannot repair. He also says the players must feel at the start that you can be demanding, but as well that you must believe deeply you want to help them. Scrolling all the way down, he spoke about being a patient child and things. Wenger, I love you, but I'm just trying to hear the bits about when you should have left and things like that, which is why I've got several articles. So yeah, man, we're going to leave this one quickly and go into this. Apparently, Arsene Wenger finally admits his regret at not leaving the club long before his 2018 departure, as he suggests he should have left back in 2007, more than a decade. You should have left 2014, the minimum. You probably should have left on a high. You killed yourself from a footballing perspective, let's be real, because you wanted to. You had a love affair with Arsenal. It was something you was obsessed with, rightly so. I share that love, but also because you knew, you tell us all the time you was linked with Real Madrid and this team and that team, and it was true they all wanted you, but it wouldn't have lasted long if you did several luxuries that happened at Arsenal. But at the same time, you died a martyr in a footballing sense for no reason. The club you love, that you was done dirty. You was a linchpin of this football club, but you was also a scapegoat. I think many people hate you, but they can recognize that don't get it twisted. I'm not going to say building the stadium is better than winning trophies, but your invincibles, the way you came and mashed up Sir Alex Ferguson's stuff and gave him something to think about, the hallmark he left on the Premier League. He ran so Pep and Klopp and all these modern foreign managers could walk. He come and done this thing, and the stadium paying it off. And to be honest, we're still seeing your legacy with Saka, with Smith Rowe, with the strong academy, with all of these things. A lot of things are being ingrained, but you wanted the job in it, so you've only got yourself to pay. You need to, in life, and this is something I've always told myself, even if I get here with YouTube, man need to quit before they quit you. You know, that's for Klopp and Pep. Man have to leave before you want to leave, not the club are leaving you, sort of thing. Because all you'll get is a pat on the back. But yeah, he probably should have left. But hindsight's a wonderful teacher. He said, I identified myself completely with the club. That was the mistake I made. Exactly what I just said. You forgot yourself. My fatal flaw is that I love too much where I am because it was a degree of complacency, and you love the club too much. We couldn't separate in the last few years in particular. You couldn't separate Arsenal and Arsene Wenger. And I felt with some of your decisions, especially with giving El Nene, Coquelin, and Giroud new deals at that time, that wasn't necessarily the best decision for Arsenal. That was the best decision for Arsene Wenger. But I can't have nothing but admiration and love for this guy, man. He said, where I was, I regret. I should have gone somewhere else, but he should have bust out, you know. Henry loves this club. David Dean loves this club. Vieira loves this club. But at some point, they all left. Vieira was always being linked with leaving people. Sometimes I wonder, was something broken after that invincible season? Probably we stopped being a football club and became PLC. 2007 was a decisive point. It was the first time I could feel there were tensions inside the board. I was torn between being loyal to the club and being loyal to David Dean. You'd be loyal to your man, them. You don't need to be loyal to the club necessarily. I still today wonder if I did the right thing, because life was never exactly the same after. I thought I have to go now to the end of this project. I could have gone to the France national team, should have done that. The English national team twice, could have done that, or 3 times even. I could have gone to Real Madrid, should have done that. I could have gone to Juventus, should have went. Could have went to PSG and even Man United. Now, I allow the Man United thing, Wenger, but you should have went. Wenger has not been back to the Emirates since leaving 3 years ago, and I find it sad. He said, "Now there is no special reason for me to go there. All the rest is purely emotion, and that is less important. It is the end of your life, at least one life, like a funeral. The end of a love story is always sad," which is true. Should we scroll down and see if we can see anything? There are 2 important days in your life: the day you were born and the day you know why. And I agree with that. I mean, I think the day I found out, for me anyways, with this YouTube thing, like I woke up one day, I was like, I have to work in football. Like I've been silencing this voice in my head. I don't care how I do it. I don't care what thing. I have to, something needs to include my life being within football, because it's the only thing I know, the only thing I have a clue about, the only thing that gets desire going on in life with me, the only thing that puts fire into my belly. And this is why I applaud you lot. I always say it, without you lot, bro, do you know how depressed and vexed I would still be? You lot gave me another chance at life again. So I would always appreciate the DG Nation and what you lot have done for the guy, man. And this is why I always say thank you. Do not ever think I'm just saying that for the sake of it, people. It really means a lot. But in relation to Sir Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger, that's that, people. Wenger says he should have left in 2007. Hit the like button if you haven't done such already, people. Where we at in terms of likes? And obviously 4 p.m. I'm back online on Twitch. It's Champions. Well, it's not Champions League. I'm just reading something. It's FA Cup final. So why is it a capital letter there? What's going on? So yeah, it is what it is. We'll get into the rest of Kroenke in a second, people. But I'm enjoying you lot's chat. What are you lot saying? Football is the best thing in my life, brother. I love it. I mean, family is the only thing I put above it, and them sort of things there. But yeah, man, Papa Wenger's legacy is still felt today. That's why we all demand more from. Ultimately, Wenger lived and died by the high standards he set. And for me, I just think he lost that urgency, or he lost the urgency in doing it the way it needed to be. He was stubborn in his. But I mean, you know, we've all got family members, and we don't agree with everything they did. You know, I've got nothing but love for Arsene Wenger, man. You know, he's the reason I sit here on YouTube as well. He's the reason I see football the way I see it, really and truly. You know, I feel like I don't know this guy, but I know him, like, really and truly. So yeah, man, more life to Wenger, man. Surprise, Concrete knows what a Champions League is. Pick up yourself, man. Red tie and that will try, man. He did him dirty to a degree. He didn't even turn. He can't even turn up to watch games anymore. I feel sad, but we did him dirty. Some of it, you know, went beyond criticism. Certain people, it was nasty. Let's have it right. It was nasty how certain individuals and certain people were treating him. You know, you know, and again, it speaks a lot. You got to remember, he was an old man as well, regardless of it being football. For me, he should have left 2014. You won the FA Cup and things. Minimum, if not that. The first time you see when we beat Chelsea, when Mertesacker and Holding were the centre halves, should have left there. in my opinion. He died by his high standards, winning trophies, developing players, finding players that the world don't know about, consistently getting Champions League. Do you remember this man used to be killed for saying Champions League is like, bro, the man's foresight is 10-10. He told you free transfers was going to be a thing. You know, some of the things Wenger's killed for, it weren't even him. It's well publicized. He said, don't give Mesut Ozil that contract, for example. Man didn't want to listen. Now look. See what happens in this thing, people. Hit the like button if you haven't hit such already, folks. He deserves respect, still respect your elders. And the thing is, it just got nasty, innit? Like, I understand it's football. Football brings out all the primary emotions in everyone. But, I mean, come on, man. There's a way to do things. And especially someone that is a legend of this football club. And I think a lot of people, when they look in the mirror, their conscience, if they have one, is going to bite them in the ass, man. Really and truly. What else is there? Is there anything else Arsenal connected? I don't know why Jacques is trending on Twitter, but fair play. Happy to see that. You love to see it. What else have we got? Ranieri's pissing me off, man. Good news, Man United have no plans of sacking Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's here to stay. But yeah, it is what it is where that's concerned. But yeah, man, away from that, we'll get into Kroenke in a second, people. Hit the like button if you haven't. What else have we got? Let me scroll up in the comments, man, because I know I've missed out a couple. Any questions, talking points and things, don't feel any way about mentioning them, people. I think Arteta likes one fullback to stay back when the other goes forward, to give three at the back and doesn't need to move the midfield into defense. I hear it, but at the same time, teams are going to start clocking it. So you're going to, Ryan Mason's still got a Spurs job. He's there at Spurs. Shout out to him. I'm watching the highlights of Spurs Everton here. But as I was saying, teams are going to clock it. And obviously, those of you who have played football, if Tomiyasu isn't going to get forward too many times, if a right back, in the same way, if a right back is too attacking and he flies forward, like if Tavares at left back, if I'm playing against Arsenal, I'm telling my boys, capitalize on that space he leaves behind, because he's not going to be there. You know, naturally. And the flip side of that is, if you have a fullback that not too many times is going to go across that halfway line and he's going to be narrow, that's an area for you to get down. You're going to say get down that left-hand side. So to Tomiyasu, we're either going to have to mitigate against that, but I still think Tomiyasu has to improve going forward. I'm not asking him to turn into a Japanese Dani Alves, because I don't think that is going to happen, but I do think it's quite meaty, if I'm honest with you. Saka has been overplayed. Do you think Laka should have gave the ball back to Watford? I mean, the ref should have done a thing, really. Like, it's nothing to do with him. And the play's played on. Lacazette's backs to the goal and all them thing there, but they're just vexed that the chance came out of nothing, because they didn't clear their lines, or specifically Ranieri, and they were kicking us, and then they were rolling over the floor like they've been shot a million times as well. So if he wants to, if you want to talk about respect and all of this integrity and all this tosh, Ranieri, before you point a finger at anyone, you've got three fingers pointing back at you. So use that. You're old enough to know that as well. You're just vexed that your team ain't winning, blood. Wenger was the true definition of live by the sword, die by the sword, respect to his achievements at Arsenal, English football, and football in general. And that's something I've learned. I love Wenger, but one thing I learned from Wenger's story in life: get out of there before they get you out of there. Leave on a high. Ferguson left the right way. Could have even left before. You're a hero, and you long. What's the saying?